Myself, Mr. Mate HT, Department of Botany, RBNB College, Sri Rampur. So, today we are going to see the T.Y.B.Sc Botany, paper first, BO 331, Cryptogamic Botany. And from this Cryptogamic Botany, the topic number 3, that is the life cycle of the Sargassum. Now, all over the world, there are about 150 species of the Sargassum, and in India, there are about 15 species, and these species are according to the B.R. Vasishta. Now, the classification of this Sargassum: kingdom plenty, because cell wall is there. Then subkingdom Cryptogams, because it is a non-flowering plant. Then division Pheophyta, marine water forms, it is found in the marine water. Then pigments present are chlorophyll A, B, and phacoxanthin is there. And laminarin is the resort food material. Class Cyclospory, there is no alternation of generation is found in the Sargassum. And second, the oogamous type of sexual reproduction, because oogonia are dominant. Then order Fucales, receptacles are with the conceptacles. Conceptacles are also the reproductive structures, they are developed in the receptacle. Then family Sargassum and genus Sargassum. Now this is all about the classification of the Sargassum. Now occurrence, it is a marine water form. It is found in the tropical and temperate region of the world. Then it is dominant in between the ocean of Florida and West Indies. So that ocean, that sea is called as the Sargasso Sea. Now we are going to see the Thalassa structure of the Sargassum. So this is the hold fast, this is the main axis, these are the leaves, or it is also called as the frond. These are the reproductive structures called as the receptacles. They are profusely branched. They are dark brown in color. Oh, this is the thallus structure of the sargassum. The thallus, that is the plant body of the sargassum, is get divided into the two parts. The lowermost part is called as the holdfast, which is the attaching disc. It is get attached to the substratum when it is present, because in some form, in some cells of the sargassum, in some species of the sargassum, the holdfast are completely absent. So when they are present, they are get attached to the substratum. That means they are important for anchorage purpose. They are irregular in shape, they are disc-like, and they are get attached to the substratum. Now above this there is the main axis, or simply it is called as the axis. Now it is somewhat circular or flattened, and it is completely get encircled by a mucilaginous sheath. Now it is circular or flat. That means main axis, or it is called as the axis, it is circular or flat in shape. Now this main axis gives the spirally arranged primary laterals. So these are the primary laterals. This is called as the primary lateral. Now these primary laterals are arranged in the proportion of 2/5 phyllotaxy. 2/5 arrangement is there. Now on this primary lateral, the structure of this primary lateral is the same as the main axis. That means it is also circular or flat in outline. Now on this primary lateral, there are different types of the secondary laterals are get developed. There are 3 different types of the secondary laterals are get developed from this number 1, that is called as the lip, or it is also called as the frond. Now it has a very short stalk, and it is entire or serrate in margin, and at the center there is a single prominent midrib. In some species this midrib is also absent, and its apex is acute, and it shows some dots, and these dots are nothing but the non-functional stomata. They are called as the cryptoblast or the cryptostomata. So these are the cryptoblast or the cryptostomata. These are the non-functional stomata. They are developed on the lip. Now second part, that is the air bladder. Its position is different in the different species. So for example, here it is present in the axil of the lip, but here it is present at the base of the lip or at the apex of the lip. Sometimes it is also developed at the base of the receptacle. So this air bladder has a very short stalk and a globular structure. It is important for the gaseous exchange and for the floating purpose. Third part, which is the most important part, which is concerned to the life cycle, it is called as the receptacle. They are dark black brown in color. They are profusely branched, and they are also developed in the axil of the lip and on the primary lateral. They are profusely branched, and their tip, there are the conceptacle. That means here there are the conceptacle. Again, conceptacles are the reproductive structures. So here there are holdfast, main axis, primary lateral, then lip-like structure, or it is also called as the frond. Air bladders are there and receptacles are there. So all this comes under the thallus structure of the sargassum. Now the internal morphology. Now the internal morphology of all the parts. So number 1, TS of the axis. TS of the axis. It is somewhat circular in outline. Sometimes it is flat also, it is according to the species. Externally it is covered by the mucilaginous cuticle. The outermost layer is called as the Meristoderm. It is a photosynthetic in nature. The cells are columnar. They are compactly arranged without intercellular gap. At the center, there is the medulla. All the cells of medulla, or it is also called as the conducting strand, they are compactly arranged and they are thick-walled. So that is the mucilaginous cuticle. Outermost layer, that is the Meristoderm. Inside this, there is a thin walled cortex is there, and at the center, thick walled medulla is there. So this is the internal morphology of the main axis. It is somewhat circular in outline. It is brown in color, and externally it is get covered by a mucilaginous cuticle. Inside this, the first layer, that is the outermost layer, which is called as the meristematic layer, or it is also called as the Meristoderm. All the cells are meristematic in nature, and as they have the chlorophyll pigment, they also perform the function of a photosynthesis. The cells are compactly arranged. It is a single layered, and there is no any interruption in the cell. Now inside this, there is another layer which is called as the cortex. Now it is a multi-layered. Cells are compactly arranged without intercellular gaps. They are thin-walled and are parenchymatous in the nature, so they store the food material. And at the center, there is the thick-walled cells. They are compactly arranged, and it is called as the medulla, and it is important for the conduction purpose. It transports the food material from lip to the stem or any other spot according to the need. So these are the three different parts, that is the Meristoderm, cortex and medulla are there. There is no tissue differentiation, just like the higher plant. Only thick-walled cells are found in the medulla. Now tears of the lip. So this is the outermost layer, again called as the Meristoderm. It is meristematic in nature. It has a chlorophyll pigment, so it also performs the function of a photosynthesis. Cells are compactly arranged. Outermost layer, that is the mucilage. Inside this, there is the Meristoderm. Inside the Meristoderm, there is the cortex, and at the center, thick walled medulla is there. These are the cryptoblasts, and these hair-like structures are called as the paraphysis. So this is the internal morphology of the lip or lip-like structure called as the frond. It is flat in outline. Externally, it is covered by the mucilaginous cuticle. Now, inside this, there is the Meristoderm. Meristoderm, that means all the cells are meristematic in nature, and they also have the chlorophyll pigment, so they perform the function of photosynthesis. Now, this Meristoderm is interrupted at some places, and that structure is called as the cryptoblast, or they are also called as the cryptostomata. These are the non-functional stomata. They are pit-like in occurrence, and from these hair-like structures are developed. They are called as the paraphysis. Now, inside this Meristoderm, there is a multi-layered, thin-walled, compactly arranged tissue which is called as the cortex. Now, this cortex is compactly arranged without intercellular gaps. They are thin-walled and are parenchymatous in nature, and they store the food material. Now, at the center, there are thick-walled cells. They are also compactly arranged, and it is known as the medulla. It performs the function of conduction of the food material. So there are the three main layers as they are found in the stem. That is the main axis. That is the Meristoderm, cortex, and medulla. So the structure, internal morphology of the lip and main axis is nearly the same. Now the internal morphology of the air bladder. This is again the same layer, that is the Meristoderm, which is the outermost boundary, outermost layer of the air bladder. It is again externally covered by the mucilage. This is the cortex of the air bladder. So this is the mucilage, Meristoderm, cortex, air cavity. As the air bladder is circular in outline, so internally it is also circular in outline, and externally it is covered by a mucilage. Inside this, there is a single layered Meristoderm. The structure of the Meristoderm is the same as the lip and the main axis. It is a single layered. Cells are vertically arranged. They are columnar and they are compactly arranged. Now they are also protective in function. Now inside this, there is a multi-layered structure layer, it is called as the cortex. Cells are thin walled, they are compactly arranged, they are parenchymatous in nature, and they also store the food material. Now at the center there is the air cavity. Now this air cavity or these air bladder are important for the floating purpose and for the gaseous exchange. So again, just like the stem and lip, here there are the two layers. Only one layer, that is the internal medulla, is not there. But this Meristoderm and cortex are there, and the structure of this Meristoderm and cortex is the same as found in the lip and the main axis. So thank you.